everybody. Good evening. My name is KD Stafford, and I'm joined here with supposedly my yeah, there he is. Well, there's a chair with my co-host here and one of my best friends, Austin, and my other best friend is pushing the buttons. Brandon Cooper, he's back there doing stuff.
Sometimes,
He's
sometimes he's
supposed to
back there.
be. I mean, he tells us he is. Sometimes yeah, right. We have had problems. We've had problems, Brandon. Um, so we're doing our generic paranormal show, and I just want to say that fucking music, the clown music, dude,
Dude,
it just
Colleen was laughing at it too.
makes me laugh every time I
It's
hear it.
perfect.
It
It's
is. It's
perfect.
perfect because it's
Mm-hmm.
Clown City, baby.
Yep.
It's like the clowns go marching in or whatever. Is that the name of the
The
song? The clown?
Saints.
No, no. There's a weather. No, it's the
Oh, yeah. The
what
name
is
of
it?
that song. I know what you're talking
Clown
about. I don't.
something. I don't know what the hell it is. I'm not a clown.
I don't. I can't think of it.
Thank Jesus.
Mhm.
I'll have a clown fetish. I don't know. Next time you see me, I could be wearing big, weird, like clown shoes. It's the thing, man.
You guys doing some clown role playing lately or something?
No, but we can. It's always it's not off the table. It's not off the table. I'll get back to you on that one. So tonight we're gonna be talking about. We haven't even discussed what we're gonna be talking about. So this is just straight off the hip. My wife came down and made a suggestion. My lovely
What's
wife,
that?
Katie Stafford, she came down and said you guys should talk about different ways you can use or like different places or different um like environments maybe that you would. What's up, everybody? I'm gonna say hello and we'll
Hello. Hello. We're here.
yeah, we are here and we're talking about stuff, but we're gonna talk about like oh, okay, so I'll start out like this. So Austin, like
Kevin.
what settings? Yes. What settings do you use for your ghost box sessions normally? Are you on or what band? I'm sorry. So what are you
Okay.
on FM, AM? What are we doing? What are you doing? Does it matter where you're at? Does it
It depends
matter?
on the box.
Depends on the
And
box. Also,
I say that because and I've preached this for a long time, and you know this just as well as any of us. A builder's energy is transferred into a box when he builds it, and so like with the ink box, right? I use shortwave,
yeah. So you think I'm on
or
shortwave? What does that
I
mean?
like shortwave on the ink box, dude. I like shortwave on the ink box.
Just making sure
But
you weren't.
with JW's boxes, obviously, like the direct links, it's all FM. I know your microcoms and your nanocoms are also FM. But like with Doug's, or like with a, I guess because it really just depends. Like even with like the box that Doug built me, William Pimblett.
William Pimblott.
I use AM on that one just because I love the way that the smoothness of the AM sweep on it.
Yeah.
But I think it really just depends because I think that there are
I like
different boxes for different situations too. So like
yeah,
that's why I got so many.
Doug's boxes, the AM on them is really like super clear
Hmm.
and kind of
Oh
static.
my god,
And
it's so smooth, man.
what's in the box? Did you see that pop up just now? You saw that?
Yeah, I did. I
That's
saw it. Yeah,
hilarious. What's in the box?
covered my
Anytime
face.
somebody
Yeah.
says something about a box or something being in a box, everybody has to say, "What's in the box?" Because
Yeah.
it's a meme,
So
you
what do
know.
you use on yours, Mr. Kenneth?
Well, it just depends on where I'm at. And well, there's
Yep.
several different factors. Okay, you got where you're at. What are you going for? Right? Like, are you going for the like what kind of method? Oh, yes, nice is the background. He's gonna just kick the shit out of that dead horse, man. Kill it,
I was
kill
gonna.
it, stomp it, Brandon.
He's gonna be eating
Uh,
horse meat at the end of it.
yep,
Like I'm eating it so
that
much.
horse was going bad.
Yep.
So it depends on where I'm at. Depends on what I'm doing. There's several different methods that I like to say that people use to use for ghost box sessions, right? Like for
Mhm.
reception anyway. Like
Yeah, reception is definitely a factor.
right. So like, are we getting a lot of radio? Like if we're on FM, right
Right.
now, well,
I like a lot of
like,
reception on FM, but I
it
like to have
depends.
the sweep turned way up, like super
Yeah,
fast.
right. It depends. Hello, everybody. It depends. It's like okay, Ashmore States, for example, right?
Mhm.
Like if like with a microcom, I'm not getting any radio in that building, period,
But
whatsoever. And
well,
there's
yeah.
lots of places that are like that. They're like Faraday
Well,
cages.
Ashmore's out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, but I mean, you can, as soon as you
So,
walk outside, you're getting radio
well, isn't it
inside the
like a
building.
concrete or a brick
Yeah,
building or
yeah,
both?
it's like concrete, whatever, brick. There's like a
So
lot of
yeah, you're probably not gonna get. There's a
steel
lot of buildings
girders
like
and stuff,
that.
I think.
Oh fuck yeah, dude. Yeah, there's no way you're getting anything in that building.
But, I kinda
Maybe
like
AM.
that. But, here's the thing, though, I like that sometimes
Hmm.
because sometimes you're gonna get nothing, but then you'll get something.
So actually, and like, so I remember you told me a story too when you were out in, I think it was Butte, where you went into the mines
Yeah, that's an
when you guys were
example.
filming. So
Yeah.
like that is actually something that and I know JW talks about this a lot is something called a direct applied voice, which is something that because it's not direct radio voice where it's one
Comes
station,
through
one bed channel, right? But
right.
it's a voice that is coming through that where the reception is either non-existent or something that doesn't come from the tuner itself.
Right. Yeah.
And those are my favorite kinds of voices that come in, obviously, because those were actually imprinted into like somewhere in there before the speaker. But
Right.
especially if you're down in a mine like you were, and
Well,
you
you
got
say
so
okay.
that's
No, right. Now that's what like is it imprinted on the speaker or the circuit, or is it like a local, is it riding on a local radio station? So here's my thing. My question is, and this is something obviously that we're not really going to be able to answer like definitively, right? This is not a definitive thing. I'm not saying that this is how it,
right.
but I'm just saying I think that when you get stuff like that, it could be that it's a local, it's something local there, right? That is, and that kinda adds to the point of things riding on the radio frequencies, like it's some kinda carrier wave for
But
their.
wouldn't it come through the tuner if that was the case?
It could, but then where? Where would it come
Well,
through? Could
it
you
would
just
have to
scroll
cut.
through? Or would it be, or are they is it constantly changing frequency anyway, and you're just trying to catch it? You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
because see, then if it was riding a carrier wave, then it wouldn't be. It would act just similar to. See, that's the hard part, is because when it rides a carrier wave, that means that it's coming on a specific frequency, just riding along with it somewhere, and it's being picked up by the tuner in order to
Locally,
come out.
locally, it's
But
coming
like,
through, it's in between, or like it's so I think that
all right,
like
so here, let me give you an example.
okay, go ahead.
Let me give you one example.
Go ahead.
So let's say that you put an echo and reverb board on your ink box, right?
Yes.
Everything that comes out of that speaker should have echo and reverb, correct? If you have them turned up.
It should, like, even the tape, uh,
Mhm.
recorder will play back with the
Or
echo.
anything that any whatever audio source, like the tuner, if you have it
Bluetooth,
on,
whatever,
yeah,
yeah, 'cause it's coming
it's
out of the equalizer on the top right
mhm.
there, and it's going into the, reverb processor, and it's coming out, and then it's going through
Mhm.
the amp. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
So now,
like before.
essentially, now imagine if while you're sweeping, right,
Mhm.
there are things coming through that all have echo and reverb, but then there's like two words that kind of come out that don't have any echo and reverb.
Now that's a different, that would be a different situation, right? And that's why I
And
say
that's what
that
I
could
was
be an
referring
electrical,
to necessarily, like
it
a
could be
direct
something,
applied voice is
yeah,
what I was.
you're talking about directly applied to the circuit. Not necessarily,
or somewhere it would have to have been put in after the echo and reverb board in
but
order for it to not have echo and reverb.
preamp.
Preamp, but at
Post
any point
post
after the
effects
echo and reverb, right?
post effects, post radio preamp.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Exactly.
it would be like it would even be yeah, so you're
I mean,
talking
it could
about
have even come in at post amp too. I mean, anywhere post effects, really.
sure, that's what I'm saying,
Right.
but you can come in post amp. I
How
mean,
do we know?
it could, but I would assume that
Probably
it
pre
wouldn't be as it would
loud.
be right, like, the
It's
amplifier where
true.
all your noise is well, okay, I'm not gonna say all your noise. I'm gonna say the way radios normally work is the amplifier amplifies everything coming into it, right? So you're gonna get whatever comes through that amplifier, that's what you're gonna hear. So my assumption is that it's preamplifier. But there's a lot of
That's a fair
circuitry
assumption.
though behind that amplifier. I mean,
Right, and that is a fair assumption for sure. I guess I wonder though, because like, the tuner audio or the Bluetooth, whatever the source audio is going into the echo and reverb. And once it enters that echo and reverb board,
mhm,
and I know that it loses a lot of sound or volume, I guess. Like it makes the volume decrease quite significantly. That's why, like on a regular, like an OG ink box, you don't need any of the extra shit. Like when you put the sweep circuit in, you don't need the extra amplifier because it's already got it all on board, right?
yeah, I go in,
But
I jump into the middle of the
right,
circuit.
right, exactly. So if you were to, I mean, so in
So it's coming
theory,
out preamp level
it
and
could,
going to
or
the amplifier.
yeah, I mean, it's just anything post FX. I guess that's kind of the whole point because I mean, even if it's not losing any volume through the echo and reverb, it doesn't necessarily require as much, I guess, power is a good
Yeah,
way to think about it. So, I mean, it could come out, and those are the ones where it's like even not loud voices, but like it says two or three words, right? That
right.
just don't have any echo and reverb, and you just hear them behind the rest of the sweep, right?
Oh, yeah, or like you get a voice or a word or a message that's composed of, like, mixed up pieces of that, and that goes
That,
to
that's
another so
that's another theory, yeah.
that's a whole other, like, way like, possible way that they communicate. I just wanna bring up what JK47 Paranormal Investigations here said, PS SB7. Is it a PSB7 or is it SB7? Is it
It's the
PSB?
PSB7.
But it's just
That's
SB7, right? Did
I
they
think it's a
change
par.
that? Has it always
No,
been?
it's always been the
Really?
PSB7, but people just always call it the SB7, but
Yeah,
it's the
'cause it like
PSB7.
okay, alright. What's the piece? Paranormal?
I think so.
Okay, I
Paranormal
know
Spirit Box or
S
something.
hey, Becky. SB is like spirit box, right?
Hmm.
So if that's the 7th version, does that mean that's the 7th version of the SB7? Now, what does the 7 stand for?
That's a good question.
It could be
I
like
don't.
his 7th version, like, of his own, and he was like, "Ah, this is the 7th, and this is
Could
good."
be.
I don't know, I'd like to interview him one day and ask him that. But I
Okay.
like
Yeah.
S I do like SB7 just 'cause I build my own boxes. I will always say that, I've got some of my best responses on an SB7, right? Like, "Hey, Brandon, you wanna pull up a video?" Are you there if you're there? Gary Galka, yeah. If, he's there. Will you pull up
So the
the
fucking-
video what is this? You know what, Brandon, bring up shit. I'm gonna go on my YouTubes,
I
and
think I still have an SB7 somewhere. I think
I
it's in my
do too.
bag, but like I haven't even
Okay.
turned it on. And since I've owned it, I haven't turned it on. I think
Hey,
somebody just
Brandon.
gave it to
seven
me.
in PSB7 he's using numerology. He's going the seven
For the
is
God
this.
number,
Yep.
for the holy number or what well, holy number, was that 3 or is
Yeah,
it
it's
7?
saying that this uh yeah, it's
Oh,
either
Jonathan Keyworth, JK. Hey, man, that's a cool name. Sorry, Brandon, I didn't mean to step on you. I didn't realize that was you, man. That's fun. JK47, I like that. Anyways.
Yeah, so it's either he's using numerology and he's also, it says that he's giving a nod to operators.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yep.
Yeah, I get that. I get that. Okay. Well, I didn't know if that was like his 7th version or what. Hey, Becky.
Well, if you don't
See,
know, now
like,
you know.
Brandon's your favorite person now. I see how it is. So, Brandon, I want you to play a clip from our YouTube channel if you can. It's the you know what? I'm gonna try to like maybe I can play it. Present. Present.
Present and
Okay.
then share screen.
Okay. All right. Hold on one second here. Let me pull it up. I gotta
And
get
then,
to the
yep.
video.
Austin, you should be able to pull stuff up too if you wanted to.
Switch cap. I think it's on this one. And this is the video that I made a long time ago in my expert with my expert
Being a smartass.
editing. What are we doing? Was this show and tell? Is that what this is? I
No,
want
he's being a
I wanna
smartass.
Oh,
I'm
is that
being a
what's
smart ass.
I
Yeah,
didn't
Yeah.
see what you're doing because I'm looking over
pulling
here.
stuff up.
I was pulling stuff up.
Oh. Ah,
I know.
ah,
Fucking.
good man.
He
That's real
I knew what he would do.
clever dude. Okay,
Yeah.
hold on. I got it. It's coming.
All right.
And
I'm just
there it
stalling.
is.
I'm just dawdling around until you play your shit.
Okay,
So we can listen to an SB7.
okay. Present share screen. Sharing screens is yes. I know. Yes. Okay. So am I gonna window? Yeah. There we go. This one. Yeah, but is it gonna give me the sound too? Hopefully. I hope. Can y'all hear that?
No.
No, I don't hear anything.
Really?
Really.
Okay. All right. So I'm just gonna copy this, and I'm just gonna send it to Brandon and let him share it.
Yeah. Good. Thank God. I'll
Hey,
have to
you know
watch
what?
SB7.
I don't need this from you. All right.
I'm doing this for you.
Brandon. Private chat, Brandon. I'm sending you a link.
This fucking dude.
Bam.
Bam.
Play that clip. If you can, sir, please.
Marlon Brando.
Brandon the Brandonian. Shammers. Hey man, hey, yeah, we gotta watch. Where'd you send it? Send the link to JK47. If you are friends with Brandon, send him the link because I'm incapable of playing a video for some reason and sharing the audio. I think I might have to share my screen and not my window. But anyway, hopefully Brandon's working on that. But going back to what we were saying here about what were we talking about? Forms of ways to communicate.
Oh
So the
yeah,
other
the
box,
fast sweep, right? You were talking about the fast. You were about
right?
to get into the fast sweep. Yeah.
We were gonna get into that. We're gonna get all up into that. But you know, SB7 first. I like SB7. I do like the SB7. Are we going with the video now? Oh, right. Oh, I can hear it too.
There we go.
Y'all might want to turn your speakers up here so you can hear this well. This was with SB7. This is the moment that I kind of got hooked on Ghostbox, ITC, right? I mean, I was already interested, but this like snagged me, and because up to this point, I was pretty much using an SB7. I think I might have had some like hack boxes. There's there's a dude who lived there that was accused of killing children, and he basically hung himself, or they hung him, and the next day they found the real murderer.
That's fucked up.
Right.
Just say the word innocent through my radio. Oh, there was.
You've shown me this clip before.
Right, and I've shown this a lot. Now this, now if you obviously you'll be able to go back and watch this again if you want to hear it again. I didn't do the whole let's listen to that again, but it clearly said innocent, right? And there was nothing coming through that, and that's what I like about SB7 is it's well, I don't know. Some of them I've used, they get a lot of reception, and then some of them don't. But I know they all still have the same like circuit boards and everything in them, right? What's up, Stephanie? So let's shoot somebody. So if y'all got some good ghost box videos that are short, we'll be happy to play those and give our thoughts, right? Or Austin and Brandon. Brandon's gonna play them. Austin's gonna help me.
Y'all don't want my thoughts.
Why? Yes, we do. We want your thoughts. We want your pessimistic. No, I'm just kidding. No, we like I think
I
it's
like
good.
a lot of boxes. I like a lot of builders. I like a lot of different. I like
I
concepts.
don't think there's
I don't-
anybody's boxes that I don't like. You know what I'm saying? There's not like a box that I don't like. I mean,
There's a couple that I don't
like
really.
what?
But
Okay. Well, we're not going to throw any names out. We're not going to do anything.
yeah, we
But I
won't
mean,
go into that.
I don't personally like have a problem with anybody that's out there making them. You know what I mean? Or any of the boxes. I think they're all reasonable.
They're all unique in their own
Here's
way.
JK47, Mr. Jonathan Keyworth. Let's watch his video here.
There's something there, guys. I gotta review that. Jameson family. Your bodies were found about 3 miles away from your truck. Can you tell me how you died? How did you die? Did they shoot you with their gun, Carolyn? Yeah. Oh.
Wow, that was good, man. And that's like, you know, there wasn't anything coming through really. And then he asked the question, and then he gets a response.
Yeah, that was a pretty good one right there.
Yeah. That was a good catch.
That was a good one.
That was SB7. I want to say SB47. Thanks a lot, JK47.
That was a good response.
Becky likes to know static, and I get that. A lot of people don't like the static, and it's just that is a personal preference. You know what I mean? It depends for me. Sometimes I do. It just depends on like what I'm doing, right? I like to try different ways because it's about experimentation, in my opinion. I don't want to lock it down to one thing and say, hey, this is how I'm doing it from this point forward, and because this is the only way to do it. I've seen people do that in the past, and I don't like it because it kind of rules out everything else. You know what I'm saying? So when you say that, you're saying everything else is off the table. This is the only thing that can produce results, or this is the only way, or this is the only device, or whatever. You know. But some people can't handle all the static. Some people are fine with it. I kind of like a lot of static, but I'm like an audiophile type person too. So I like weird sound, like, you know. Hey,
I prefer
Maria.
Mariah.
Mariah.
I think it's Mariah.
No, it's Mariah. It's 100%. I read it wrong, and I apologize for that, Mariah.
I want the static. I don't mind it being like okay. So I don't like the SB7 static. That's loud as shit. Don't need it that loud.
It's not that you don't like the static. You don't like the stepping.
I don't like super loud static.
Yeah, right. And it's like
I don't like super loud static, and I also don't really like linear step sweeps. I mean, and that's just, you know, like going from top to bottom and starting from the bottom just slowly. You know, I don't know. I think it's limiting. I think not having the static is also limiting, and I'm not saying that none of it works, because it definitely, I mean, it definitely can. Anything can work if it's done right, but I think that when you use like a no static or anything like that, you eliminate so much. And I know you and I have both experienced where we've heard voices within the static.
Right.
That, like, I mean, I've heard that so many times, like I can't go without the static anymore. And I mean,
I like static.
I get why people like the noise suppressor. I get it, it's easier on the ears, but I think that if you're trying to do real research or real ITC experimentation communication, like it would be foolish to eliminate the static, even if it's, I mean, I would leave a little static in there always.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Not always, because I do
But
make
you're
boxes
right.
that you can't eliminate the static on. And well, static
Right.
a lot of time. Okay, so static a lot of times is not just radio.
Mhm.
There's a lot of the
Right.
static
That is
comes from
correct.
the amplifier itself. There's static that comes from,
But I think they use it all. I think that they
I
use
think
every
I
little
think
bit
it's
of it.
possible. I think it depends on what you're talking to, though. I think different
Well,
things
yeah.
can communicate different ways. And then that's kind of what I was getting to before. But I just wanted to finish up with the SV7 thing. So that kind of, that's that point, right? And so now,
Right.
like what I was going to before was what I call like the bumblebee effect, right? Like Bumblebee the Transformer. This is some uber nerd stuff, or unless you were born in the 80s, you might know. Well, I guess not with the movie. I think the movie was actually the first time, but like the first movie that came out, that was actually the first time they played with that. The whole Bumblebee has a broken voice box from crashing to Earth, so now he's scans through the radio in his that's built into him, right? Because he's a car. He scans through the radio station until he finds the pieces of what he wants to say, and then it kind of
Mhm.
lines up, and he says what he wants, right? And
Right.
so that's kind of what I call the bumblebee effect because you're looking for those sounds that kind of stack up on each other and create a message. And there was a point that Mr. Tim Lovejoy brought up playing with his reverse speech ink box. So Brandon, Tim, did we send? Did you?
saw you with the box. What was in
Oh,
the
here we go
box?
again.
Because I envy your normal life.
Put the gun down, David.
It seems that envy is my sin.
Oh, what's
We're
in the
gonna take
box?
a what's in the box
What's in the fucking
interlude
box?
here. Thank you, Brandon. What's in the box? Indeed. So, Tim, did you send your clip to Brandon? Are you friends with Brandon? Yes, we want to watch that video. So I posted a video earlier on Facebook, and it was basically it's from a channel I watch called the Y Files. There's a dude named AJ on there. He's really good. What's up, Mike? And
Um,
so he basically talks about conspiracies and ghosts and anything like mysterious or whatever, right? It's a really good
right.
channel. If you hadn't seen it, you should go check it out. Watch the video on our Facebook page. But it's talking about reverse speech and the actually like when the politicians or like actors or anybody's talking, they've recorded it, right? And then they've done a lot of research. The government actually put a lot of money into researching reverse speech and people what they're truly saying, is being revealed in reversing their speech. And it's interesting. Now, do you have to kind of look into that? Sure. Do you kind of have to maybe have a predisposition? But it is, if you watch the video, it definitely raises some good points. There's the
I think, isn't there an AC/DC album or something that if you play it backwards, you're talking to the devil or something?
okay, so here's the thing, right? It's not just AC. No, I think the first one was like Led Zeppelin.
Was it
It
Led
was
Zeppelin?
yeah,
Okay.
it was
All
like
right. All
Sad
right.
Satan, saying sad
Yeah.
Satan.
Yeah. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, that's is that Stairway to Heaven? I think it's Stairway to Heaven.
But
Anyways,
that's my kind of
he
view
brings
on
that
it.
up. Well, no, he brings that up, and you know what? Was that intentional?
I
I
think
think
that
it
when
was.
you,
I think it was because there were so many other artists that came after them that did that very same thing, and it's super clear. Weird Al Yankovic, for example, if you watch that video, the Y-Files video, AJ goes through all this stuff and he breaks it down really good. And he shows a lot of examples of musicians and stuff that have done that. Tim, I don't know if I can pull that out of Brandon. Can
I
you
mean,
can
it
you
very
copy
well
that
could be
video there and
intentional.
paste that? It looks like I can copy, but copy it out of the comments there, Brandon, if you can hear me. But
I mean, I guess that would take a lot of time to train yourself to be able to say words in a way that when you speak it backwards, it actually says something. Like, especially if you're trying to do
it's
more
really
than
not
one
that
word,
difficult. I have done it.
where you can say 2 or 3
Yes.
words that when you
Yes.
say it in reverse,
Yeah, I
it
can
sounds
say a
like
whole
something else.
sentence. Yeah, man.
Okay.
I downloaded an app. It's a reverse speech app, and I can actually do that because all you have to do is kind of once you say something forwards and you play it backwards, you kind of get how how everything sounds. You know how the different sounds sound
Yeah.
in reverse. So it's not impossible.
No, but you have to know what sounds like what in reverse. And I mean, yeah, they could have done that intentionally with the music because they have plenty of time to record it and
They definitely
edit
do it
and all that stuff.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
definitely do. And is it okay? So then the next question is, well, I guess it's not really relevant when it comes to ghost hunting, but would that be almost like a form of subliminal messaging? Are we subliminally getting what they're
Like,
saying, even though they're saying it forwards? Is our brain hearing it, and we're kind of catching it with our
that's a
subconscious or something?
well, that's a good point because when you think about the way that our eyes perceive the world, like the image that our brain picks up on is
Okay, here we
reversed, it's
go.
flipped upside down,
Yeah, let's get
right?
into quantum physics, man. We're going to talk about string theory now.
That's a whole
Shit, here we
different.
go. Okay, so that's a good point, right? So with string theory, I want to
Mhm.
say, yeah, string theory. The theory is that there's like what 10 or 11 dimensions, I believe, is what the
Well,
common kind of
string
theory is.
theory is, from what I thought, that it's a set of like basically almost like strings on a guitar where
Right, but
there's certain frequencies or that
sure,
there are notes that
sure.
they like apparently
But
like
that's
when
not.
monks do that om sound,
Yes,
like that's all of the frequencies, all of the
that's
whatever frequencies put together. Like that's what the string
well.
theory is like. You could
I'm not talking
yeah.
about what string theory is. I'm just talking about like one of the possible outcomes of string theory, or not, maybe not string theory, maybe it's quantum. It's like not
Multiverse
string
theory or
theory. No,
multi-plane theory or
it's
multi
not. No, it's not even that. String theory, I think, allows for the multiple worlds theory or the infinite universe theory, right? I
it
don't know
could.
this for certain. If we got any genius Einsteins out there, you can correct me. Are we up to 12 now? JK47. Okay, there we go. 12. But the way these dimensions work, right, is like you got two-dimensional where it's like you're on the piece of paper. The good way to put it is you're a fish in the water. All you can see, the only thing you can perceive is what's where you're swimming. You don't know there's a whole other world outside the top of the water. Like let's just say you don't. Okay,
Well,
friggin'
see,
fish
this
might
is
know
like
that.
getting
I
in.
don't
We're
know
like
what fish know.
theoretical physics now.
Hey, no, it is. It's definitely theoretical physics, right? But what we're doing is all kind of theoretical. I mean, but this stuff is like has math and stuff behind it, right? So, and I couldn't
I
even
guess
do
it
the
would be
math.
hypothetical rather than theoretical, but
That's true. And Mariah says that pareidolia does play into it, and humans are wired to hear patterns. Or, okay, so we're wired to see and perceive patterns, right? So
mhm.
does that mean that doesn't mean that when we perceive a pattern that it's a repeating pattern that everybody or that is like a false pattern, right? Like you're talking to me and I'm hearing it, I'm perceiving it, and that's what I perceive. So if I get that during a session, then does that mean that it's pareidolia just because I'm using the box? It would mean it because it's not 100% conclusive that this device allows me to talk to ghosts, right? We know what it does. We know that it can produce noises, and we know that those noises can make whatever sound. So it's not 100%. So nothing we do really is 100%. It all could be pareidolia, but it's kind of the difference between like proof and evidence, right? Proof is hard to 100% prove something, right? But evidence is something is things that can stack up to help prove your case, right?
Mhm.
So if I ask a question through the box, if I ask a question and I get a response through the box, um, that response, if it's valid and relevant, then that makes it kind of like circumstantial, right? Evidence, because it happened at a specific time when a specific question was asked. So, I mean, technically, and if you get enough of that, then sure. I think that I think that's kind of what we base our belief in this on anyway, right?
I think most of the quote unquote evidence that we present as investigators or researchers or whatever, unfortunately, is circumstantial evidence.
It's all
Uh,
circumstantial. There's nothing that's
and
100% beyond
we need something that's like
approach.
the problem to get proof is like you need data. Data, long term hard data, is the way that you would provide
Sure.
actual scientific proof. But
But it's
proof
still
can be,
evidence. It's not proof.
well, data. Yeah, it is evident that is true. The proof comes from peer review and all that shit later. But having hard data over like a year period at one location showing significant changes when certain things are like, having a control where nobody's allowed to in the building, and then you introduce a variable here and there. You try to and conduct experiments to really see like how they do it over at Skinwalker, right? The Skinwalker, the way that they're doing, they know how to probe whatever the fuck it is. Like, so all they're doing is like shooting rockets up into the sky, and that's what triggers whatever happens to happen. It seems. And so, like, we would need, like, for us to find some way to prove the afterlife. I mean, we would need to come at it from that kind of angle. Like, we need to go at it from a scientific like standpoint in that sense. And when I say scientific meaning like data, like fucking measuring and it's and it's not like antagonizing or fuck, provoking the environment, provoking whatever, like we have to be able to bring that to the table, especially when we talk about the paranormal field being respected in the scientific community, or even being acknowledged by the scientific community. Like, we can show pictures of orbs or dust, as you famously put it in the very first appearance on Ghosts of Morgan City, right? I'm going to say
I don't know
that.
how famous it was, but it was pretty good.
That's in my mind, that's like the
My
big
claim to
punch to the
fame.
face, like, welcome to the like, I'm KD, bitches. Ah.
Well,
No, but I think that I do think though that, like, we can present all this stuff. I mean, another EVP, and we cannot like, circumstantial evidence is never going to be good enough. I mean, you have to have not only data, but you have to have corroborating data, right? You gotta have data points and things from multiple
and that's
perspectives,
kind of what
multiple
Mariah's
angles.
saying. She's saying that we
Mhm.
have to share the evidence and the data, and it has to be compared, and that would be like the peer review. And
Peer review, yes.
I've already said it. Katie gave me this idea for us to talk about this tonight. It's a good idea, Katie, because we're going on and we're talking.
Yep.
So right now, and that's an approach, right?
Mhm.
Like the scientific method is what you're basically
Yeah,
talking
but
about.
see,
The
my
scientific
thing,
method is the way that they prove prove theories and prove, hypothesis, or
Mhm.
a hypothesis becomes a theory or whatever. However, freaking,
right, right.
man, the thing. So, 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 but that's not what I'm here for.
Well,
I'm
right,
here
and
to
that's
try
not
different stuff. That's not my angle. I'm not trying to prove to the scientific community or necessarily really anybody else what's out there or what's not out there.
exactly.
I am who runs Bartertown, Katie. That's right. Katie runs Bartertown.
I don't know
What's
what
in the
harder.
box? How many?
No, but
He wasn't
I
gonna do
agree
that.
with you. I agree with you, and I think that actually most people in the field would agree with you too, because most people in the field are not are in it for their own reasons, you know, and that's perfectly fine. But I do imagine that, and but you know me, man, I have been the guy that is like, we gotta advance, we gotta fucking push further, we can't like be stagnant and complacent with where we are. And I know that you are not, and I know that other people in this field are not.
Right.
But you know, but there's nothing wrong with you know, everybody else in the field too, and we need everybody that we have in the field to be in the field, because
Well, I can't
even the
guarantee I'm
people,
not stagnant, but I'm definitely not complacent. Because
that's the big thing.
complacency kills. That's what they
That's
used
the
to
big
say in the
thing.
army. There used to be signs
Hmm.
everywhere. It says complacency kills.
And that's the big thing, right? Is like, you want to continue to push forward. You don't get you're not like, I'm not satisfied. I'm not satisfied. You're not satisfied. And that's why we need people like us in the field. But
Right.
we also have to have the people that are out there, the weekend warrior ghost hunters, right? Because the weekend warriors are the
Well,
ones
I'm here
that,
for them, man. I'm here. You know, I'm
right.
kind of here for them because they're people that are out there looking for their own answers, right? They're looking for maybe their own answers or just to share their experiences, and that's
Well,
kind of what
right.
I do. You know,
And we're also helping them to,
we're facilitating their needs. Is
we're
that the
like
right
helping them
word?
to find
I
different
don't know if that's the
paths,
right
different
word.
ways to find the answers that they're looking for, right?
Sure, different choices to or methods to use or different ways to do things. It's kind of
Well,
what I'm
because
looking for, and I like to share that so that other people
Mhm.
can try it too, and
Yeah.
if they want to. And I'm not pushing anything on anybody. I don't push any. I don't say this is the way to do it, or
Mhm.
that's crap, or this is crap, and this is good, but that's crap. I don't really do that,
Right.
because you're stepping on the
I may say that about some
when I
things, but
said
I try
that,
not
no,
to.
see, now when I said that, I knew this was gonna come up. Here we go. JK47 sent you another clip. Brandon, can we watch Tim's clip too?
Tim, you got to send it to me on Facebook, buddy.
Tim, you gotta send it to him on Facebook if you're still there, bud. JK47 sent you another one, but if Tim sends you one, play his, and then we'll watch JK's on the other side. But yeah, we definitely want to watch Tim's because he's got my reverse ink box, and I told Mariah that I was going to post a video of it, and I never did, and I apologize for that. Slacker. Uh,
The biggest
the
slacker.
biggest slacker.
Ain't
So
nobody flag bigger than you.
nobody. Katie, you're gonna help facilitate Tim and Tim's video.
I do have JK's pulled up, though.
You got what?
JK's pulled up.
All right, fire it up.
Yeah,
Fire away.
Can you tell me what room in the apartment you died in? What room did you die in?
I like the face at the bottom.
Yeah.
I'm so distracted by that face.
Uh,
Damn it. Oh shit. That's super clear too. But see how he had to slow it down, right? All right, let me stop you right there. So either ghosts talk really freaking fast, right?
that is a theory.
Or that this goes back to the dimensions thing where so basically as you proceed from the second dimension on the first dimension, I think you're just a point, right? So that doesn't really count. I mean, sure, there are
Yep.
probably one-dimensional beings somewhere, and I feel bad for those pitiful creatures that are just
At one
dots.
point, we were a one-dimensional universe. At one
right.
point in our history.
But it wasn't like there was nothing there. There was, you know
We
what I'm
were
saying?
we were a singularity.
Well, that's what they say. That's what they say. And we were a dot. Is this Tim's? All right, let's watch Tim's real quick.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Was that
No, we
Obama?
can't. Yes, it was Obama. Oh my God.
What's going on here, man? We're getting a
I know. I'm just like,
Sound Forge lesson. Awesome.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Is
Yes,
this
we
the right
can.
video? Oh,
Tim, did you
he's
send
playing
us
it. He's doing it. Yes, we can. Okay, and then in reverse, right? Is that what we're doing? He said,
I guess
"No,
so.
that's not mine. That's the other." Oh, okay. Okay. So whose video is this?
I really like. I'm not sure what the hell's happening here.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
So is that yes we can't like
Thank you, say. Thank you, say. Thank you, say.
I don't know what
Thank
this is.
you. It says
Sounds
thank
like
you. Thank you, Satan, or something.
thank you, Satan. Is that what it's saying?
Play that one more time.
I want to hear Tim's.
That's what it sounds like. It's saying in reverse. Thank you, Satan.
Right.
Legs, whatever. You know, so it's always trying to map out something because it is for video games. That one is actually made for a video game, and the original.
I was just
SLS,
on their
the cameras
podcast not too long ago.
Oh. So
Anthony Simonelli.
oh, I don't think I've talked to him on his
He's a cool
podcast.
dude. He's a cool guy.
So let's watch Tim's. Did we get Tim's?
No.
Katie, did you just say okay, look, I'm gonna send you because I can copy it.
I'm
Look,
working on it. I'm working
you
on
got
things
it?
right
Because
now.
I can copy it right out of the thing right here and send it to you.
No, I got it. I'm working on
You got it? Okay. So what I was saying was like, okay, with the it all this kind of works together. So with JK47, Jonathan's fast response, right? That he kind of had to slow down a little bit so you could hear it a little bit more clearly. That kind of goes hand in hand with the reverse Inkbox or reverse audio bit, right? Because we're talking about time and speeding up, slowing down, even reversing.
Yep.
Here we go. It's Tim's. Oh, yeah. Tim. That's on shortwave, sounds like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what Mike uses.
And
I know Tim hangs out with Mike a lot, so. Hey, Tim.
Yeah. I definitely heard a lot there. And so okay. So that kind of goes to my point, with the dimensions, right? So we're getting there. I know it's taking forever, y'all, for me to get to this simple point. But okay. All right. So what I was kind of trying to put together was what's in the box.
Hurry up, man.
God dang it. You're making me nervous, man. You're making me nervous. Okay, say that again, just shorter. Was that what have they ever done that to you? Like, how did that make you feel when you went in that room, Austin? Well, I was feeling like this and that and the other. And well, that was awesome what you just said. Now just make it shorter and say it again.
Oh yeah.
So so many times.
Oh, I have to do that on every episode.
Every single time. That was me
Every
too.
single
Like,
episode.
I cannot quickly just explain something.
Dude,
So
it is. That is one of the biggest challenges for me, I think, is like trying to dumb down a complicated experiment. But like, because when you try to dumb it down, you leave so many important pieces out.
yes,
It,
yes,
it just sucks so bad. And I know that it is what it is and you have to do it for the TV, but like,
yeah,
that is a challenge I think only builders, like specifically guys like you and I, that we
nerds.
face, because man, that is a big challenge.
Right. Okay. So second dimensional. I'm sorry, but I gotta get into this. Second dimensional is like a fish in the water thing. Three dimensional is like our space. Fourth dimension would be considered like time, right? Like the amount of time that it takes for you to move through a space. Now, when you get into like fifth dimension is you can go backwards in time to a point, and then go off of that point on a parallel track, right? So you can go back, let's say when you got married, right? Let's say you go back to the day you got married and you say no at the altar instead of yes. Okay. So at that point that's a parallel timeline
Timeline.
that splits off from that other one. So if your fifth dimension, you'd be able to go back to that point and then move along that timeline. Now you're only able to do that one thing. And then sixth dimension, as you proceed through the dimensions, you gain more abilities over. It's basically over time, and then parallel universes, right? Because these or parallel realities, however you want to put that, it's not necessarily a parallel universe. There are also parallel universes, but that comes in a later dimension because like all the way up to 10th dimension, I believe, you're kind of trapped in this universe. Like everything's inside of this universe, or is it ninth dimension? I can't remember. But at a certain point, you're released out of that, and you're able to go all the way back. You know, like you're able to skip around to other parallel universes, like to a whole other universe where the physics might be different and everything might be different. So, we're getting into some like Marvel crap here, but um,
Yeah, a little
but
bit.
at that point, it's kinda like time. It seems to me like time is a huge factor that we overlook because, like, if all that's correct, then we're actually existing in multiple timelines all at the same time, right?
Yeah,
And so if that's the case, then what does that mean for the afterlife? You know what I mean? Like, there's so many implications, and it just makes like what we do so like it's kind of mind boggling to even start to consider the implications that like a person dies, right? A traumatic death in this timeline. Now, what happens if you skip over to the other timeline and that person's alive still in that timeline? They didn't die. Like, are there still a ghost? It's crazy. 10th and final
yeah,
dimension. There we go. Okay,
yeah.
so yeah, so you can jump around universes. There's nothing, and that's basically they believe, or a lot of people that believe in this in the multiple or uh, I think it's string theory. I want to say I'm right about that. This is string theory. It's just a mechanic of string theory that
String theory does encapsulate the multiverse. So
right.
you're right.
So so if that's the case, man, like what does that mean? You know what I mean? Like what are we talking to? Sometimes we could be talking to so it's crazy. Does that mean that there's a parallel universe where we do have these different dimensional abilities where we are dimensional creatures where we can reach out and talk to ourselves, talk to other people? And if so, why choose radio? Is that where it's coming from? Is it like so that gets rid of the whole idea of a dimension as like a like another vibration like or something just sitting right outside of ours that we could somehow reach over into or go through some kind of portal. It's like another place that we're going that kind of exists in the same space but doesn't, right?
Mhm.
Uh, Oh,
Well,
there is no earthly time or space in the afterlife. Now, what does that even mean? So, what does that implicate, right? So,
time
there's
is
a
time
lot
is
of
relative.
time is
Time is
relative
relative, and time as we
to
see
how
it
we
is
can perceive,
linear.
right?
We
It's
perceive
relative
time as
to
linear. However, but even like a simple, or like, this is a common thing that people talk about is, when you have a guy, if you travel at the speed of light, like your aging process will
slow
slow
down
down dramatically, or it
from
would not slow down in your eyes, but to the person on Earth,
when you got
they would
back.
age like 60 years or whatever, and you've been like gone like 6 seconds. And
Right.
you're exactly the same, and they're like, what I mean?
Yep.
And they even had those astronaut twins. I remember, like, one went into the
Yes.
International Space Station for
That's the
like 6
twin
months or
paradox.
something.
That's the twin paradox, is what that's called. That's where you have two. There's a twin paradox, and it's got to do with what you're talking about. The twins that one went in outer space, and and that's where
And
that comes.
he's like only like 0.6, like
Sure.
he's
Did
like
that?
very small amount
Mhm.
younger or older or something than the
And
other
the
one
idea behind
now.
that Well, the idea behind that is, like, if you okay, maybe not in this situation where this dude is, like, only point 0.6 of a second or
It's
a minute
such a
or something. It's a
yeah,
very
it's
small amount.
small.
But what if this guy was able to get further than that? Let's say he was able to get 30 years out from that. We've kinda gotten off topic, but whatever. This is kinda a
This is
high
how we do it.
I think it's
This is
fun.
how it is.
Right, this is how we roll. But, like, so if this guy were to, let's say, somehow be able to advance his age 30 years past his twin, and then come back and talk to his twin, right? So now he's 30 years. Let's say they were 30 years old. So now he's double the age
It's
of the
it's
twin.
reversed, flip flop that. Like the faster you travel, your age,
Right.
like
Well, you know what I
because
mean.
your
So
perception,
right, the
yeah,
guy on Earth is 60
is
years
30 years older.
older.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean,
exactly. Yeah,
30 years older, so he's 60 and the other
yeah,
guy's 30. Okay,
right.
so when he comes back, the older guy will be able to tell him, like, health problems that he's had, and in a way,
Mhm.
that's altering a timeline, sort of, and it's called the twin paradox. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and really, all of that matters, like with regards to that, is how fast you're going. Like how your speed is what, like, and Einstein talked about that. Like
Right.
Einstein's theory about that
He
was
said that
that
anything
it's
travels away
because speed is
from
relative. Yes. So if you are traveling as close to the speed of light, like
away from
your
an object.
perception of age, like the way that your perception is like you just traveled across the universe
Time
in like
stopped.
3 seconds.
Well, to
But
you,
like,
it would have seemed like time would have stopped,
right,
and
exactly.
everyone
That's
else,
my
time was
point.
moving forward.
That's where it is. Time is
But at the
relative.
same
That
line,
time
you're
is
not gonna be able to see them because you're moving away from them at the speed of light. So we talk, if you just move
But
away
what
from
if you
the speed of
went
light
like,
far
okay,
enough,
let's
you
say
come straight
let's say
back,
you went to Mars and back
make a round
in
trip.
like at the speed of light. Yeah. Let's say you went to at the speed of light to Mars and back. It would take you probably 5 seconds or something. I don't know.
That'd
How long
probably be
does it
pretty
take
quick. That'd
for
probably be
light
pretty
to,
quick.
I guess it depends on how long light takes to get from Mars to Earth, but because I
I'm
know it
not
takes eight,
100% sure how
I think it
far.
takes 8 minutes or something for light to get from our sun to Earth.
Hmm.
So, so 8 minutes. Yeah, I know that it's 8 minutes because if the sun just died out, it would take 8 minutes for us to find out about it.
Damn, I'm good. I'm on point today. He's
Hmm.
heating up, baby.
Yep, that's right. That is the twin paradox. You're right. You're right.
Wow,
But so
supernatural
like the
algebra.
way that we in our third dimension, in our three-dimensional, we actually live in a 2D world. Like we see everything in 2 dimension,
Dude, we just
but
got
we only we huh?
the chat got spammed over here somehow. Like,
What?
what happened in the chat over here? Like the same. Who did that, Katie? Katie, did you do that, Brandon?
Yeah, but
Damn it! Spam
it
this hell
goes
out of
out
the
to
chat.
each individual site. It looks like spamming to us, but it's
It
not
does.
spam.
We get spammed like a mother. Okay. No, but
Um,
the twin paradox is interesting, and it's not necessarily the case in itself, right? It's not. It's what it implies.
that's not always the specific scenario. Yeah,
It's
but
just
right.
implying what is possible because of this situation, because of this
Hmm.
paradox, right? So
Mhm.
that's what I'm saying. So like all these paradoxes kind of add up to like we don't know what the fuck's going on. So
Right. But the
really
way
hard.
that we perceive time in our the way that we could not even consider, there's that they try to talk about that shape that's a four-dimensional shape, but like
Uh,
we can't I can't remember what it's called. What is it?
the tesseract.
Yeah, the tesseract, that's
Tesseract.
right. So the
Cube.
tesseract, yeah, like we can't actually
Hyperdimensional
create a
cube.
model of this. Yeah, we can't create an actual visual model of it just because
Elliot,
we can't perform, or like we can't perceive how the fourth dimension is. But like if we were in the fourth dimension, then we could perceive
well,
the
hold
three
on.
dimension.
We are in a fourth dimension. If we were in the fifth dimension, well, no, fourth dimension is like time, right? No, we exist in the third dimension. We move through the fourth dimension because the fourth dimension is time. So we're moving around in kind of, I think, I don't know. I'm not a freaking physicist. I have a physicist friend now, so I can call him, I can phone a friend, and I can get the right answer. But, I digest.
I'm pretty confident we
I
live
digress.
in
Digest.
that.
I do that too.
You digest,
I digest.
and digress
I
at the same
digest
time,
and
brother.
I digress simultaneously.
At the same damn time.
It's not a paradox. It can happen. It
No,
can
that's fact.
These things can
That's
happen.
fact.
That's right. They do not
Right.
conflict. Uh,
No, but it is fascinating. But I
dude,
think
did
we
you
need
hear
to
about the
be.
guy? Did you hear about the guy in Missouri?
We
What?
live in
4
the
minutes.
fourth. We live in the fourth dimension.
That's what I mean, right? So we live. So
We
we exist. We're three-dimensional beings that exist in in a time in a linear time.
We live in a fourth dimensional universe defined by three spiral dimensions and
Yeah.
one time dimension.
Right.
So ultimately,
one-dimensional
we're
time.
in the fourth, but in our present state, we are a three-dimensional being moving in the fourth dimension
We
and
perceive
we
things
perceive in 2 dimensions.
in two dimensions.
ooh, the three dimensions. Yeah, I'm not looking at everything I look at is not a flat sheet of paper.
No, but it's
Also,
we.
when you perceive something, it's also upside down in a two-dimensional vision. Once it reaches into your head, and then it'll flip the image into a three-dimensional image, but we perceive in the second dimension.
Well, the only
Two
reason
eyeballs.
that okay, so here's my point is that the only reason that we know objects have depth is because of light. That's the only reason. We wouldn't know otherwise. So we perceive everything in 2 dimension, but because we have light, we know that these objects are 3-dimensional. That's the only
No,
reason.
it's because we have stereoscopic vision.
Yeah, I guess I don't. Not. I
We
mean,
got two eyeballs,
yeah.
right? That look at things from
Mhm.
from a set distance apart, right? And that's how we are able to perceive things in the third dimension because we're getting
We can see our nose
two-dimensional
probably in the 3rd dimension
everything you look at. I can see that this thing has depth. This lamp in front of me has depth. This
because of
everything.
light. But
So
if
it's
there was
not,
no light,
that's part of it, but it's also because of our stereoscopic dimension. If you were a freaking
I think we need to call up your physicist friend
we
here.
do. We definitely need to call him up because he would definitely be able to be smarter than us. We probably sound like a bunch of buffoons. Like the smartest
Now,
thing
I'm
we've
just talking about what I heard from a physicist lecture on a
that
video the
don't
other
make
day.
you sound smarter.
It makes me a genius, KD, and
Okay,
it makes
whatever
me
you
a
say.
genius theoretical physicist.
No, it
I'm like
doesn't.
Sheldon fucking Cooper.
No, you're not.
I
Maybe
am the
you are.
next
Oh,
Sheldon
you
Cooper.
are. You might be. You hear Colleen like bullshit.
Just remember to de-dick yourself.
Right. I think that's what you need to step back and do right now, Austin.
Probably.
Calm down. Calm
Be
down.
like Theon Greyjoy.
I think that there are several factors that play into us being able to perceive things in the third dimension. But
Yeah.
regardless, it doesn't matter. I'm looking at things three-dimensionally. I perceive them as a three-dimensional object. Perception is reality. So bam in your face. Now moving
Fair
right
enough.
along.
Fair enough.
Catherine Knox. I like how she changed her last
If you
name.
would like to take my upcoming class Saturday, December 2nd, I will prove how
is this?
perception and reality are actually different. It's a free class. Just sign up things.
So you're
Nothing
gonna
you
tell
see
me
is
that
real.
my perception
Is a lie.
is a lie?
It's all a fucking lie. You got to take the fucking blue pill, brother,
Yep.
or the red pill. Which one
Dude,
is it?
I
It's
took
the
the
red
red
pill.
pill I took
It's
a
the
red
red
pill a
pill.
long time ago, man. I saw reality, dude. Reality's rough, bro. Like I kind of sometimes I'm like, I wish I had taken the blue.
Brandon, do you watch South Park by chance?
Of course I do.
So you know the episode where they do the Matrix
Red.
and they where they just start drinking.
That's hilarious.
Stan starts getting drunk.
Yep.
Put me back in the Matrix. I know this steak is not real.
Fucking funny.
JK47 says it best. Just remember, there is no spoon.
There is no spoon. There's no spoon. Right. So things are perception is kind of what we're dealing with, but we're also dealing with what you choose to believe. Right. You can perceive things, and you can choose to believe them however you like.
Part of me thinks that everything is all in the same plane of existence, but because and you
I'm
know
gonna have
I
to
know
go
that
way higher for this conversation.
dude
I'm
I need
nowhere
to,
near high enough for this.
when
For this
I had
conversation.
to well, okay, so here's my thought
Like
process.
a
So you know how
two-pointer.
80 what is it only like what is it 85% or 80 something percent of our universe is still technically dark matter, which is just matter that photons do not interact with. So
I don't know if that's
that's
a proven thing. I think that's what they're
our
thinking.
physical matter. They call it dark matter
No,
because
yes.
that's
They don't
the
know
only
what it
reason we don't know what the fuck it is. But
Mhm.
it's there, and it's just doesn't interact with our. The only reason we can see our matter is because it interacts with photons, whereas everything else, the dark matter, does not. So if
Thank
we are, so I mean, like, what exactly? I mean, it's all around us. Like everything in our universe is filled with this dark matter, is just all over the place. And so I wonder, and I know
But
that
is
the
dark
only way
matter
to
even
really
a thing? The only reason they call it dark matter is because they don't know how to explain the apparent void that's there in the math. It's not something that they can actually
but it
like
is detectable
measure.
by gravitational waves.
Right, but they don't know what causes it, or like you can
They
detect
don't know
it.
what it is,
They
but
don't
it's
know how to
there.
add it up. CERN in Switzerland. Yes, CERN knows. Damn it.
Well, I know that they have yeah, I think CERN is the place where they actually detected gravitational waves for the first time, right?
I know that that's where they like proved the Higgs boson. That they used data from that to prove the
So
Higgs
that's
boson.
the Hadron Collider. Is that over in CERN or
That's
is it?
Yeah, that
CERN.
is.
CERN
Yeah,
is
that's
the
CERN.
Large Hadron Collider.
Yeah.
But
But
CERN was the first one to measurably quantify gravitational fields. So
yeah.
I mean,
And so
They were able to use the
but
data. They were able to use that data. See, that's what they do. They're not able to like create freaking giant black holes inside of this thing. That's what they say.
no.
I don't
I
know.
mean,
They
these
might be
things are
able to. I don't know.
microscopic when they
Yeah,
create them.
they're firing like particles. But
And
this
they
thing
are
is
only in
huge.
existence for like 100th of a second or
Oh
something.
yeah,
It's
and
so
it takes so long for them to pour through that data. Hats off to those guys.
yeah.
I'm
But
anti-science personally. I'm just kidding. I'm not anti-science.
But I mean, it is true though. I mean that there is like everything that holds the entire universe together, the web, the cosmic web, or whatever they call it, right? Like all that dark
Are you
matter. It's
talking about the
only
string theory?
no. That's a whole different. That's not string theory.
But well, kind of is what you're saying. Kind of is
Not a
exactly
web.
how
The cosmic web is not about string theory. It's a cosmic web is made
it
up.
might not
Is
be,
how
but
they
I'm saying
map
it
out
kind
the
of sounds
universe
like
based on
how
the
the
amount of
universe.
dark matter. Like they say that universe is kind of clumped together. It's weird how it works, but they all kind of clump together throughout
Who are
the
they?
expanse of the universe. Astronomers, like people within, like looking
Astronomers.
at that shit. Yeah,
People
dude.
look. Tell us
People
that.
that actually pay attention to how it all works.
That's
Like when they
so
measure out the
wow.
universe, dude. Like when you look at at the what is it, the radio frequent the map of like the existence of the universe, and you look
Yes.
at the way that the map is all laid out, like universe, a lot of
Bubble.
universes seem to cluster together, but they're held together by this big cosmic, this web is what they call it. but like nobody really knows what the fuck the web is. It's just holding everything together. But
Well,
they
there's a
call
lot
that
of
web the
noise
dark
too.
matter because
Mhm.
and photons don't interact with this dark matter. So this stuff, whatever the fuck it is, and dark matter is just a term. So for a lack of a better term, I think is what the whole thing is. But
It is because they're basically calling it dark matter because they don't know what it is.
it's matter that does not
It's
interact
matter
with
that's
photons.
inexplainable. Like
It doesn't interact with photons, so we can't
we can't
perceive
perceive
it,
it.
see it,
We
nothing.
don't know what it is. We can't really. Yeah.
But think about
We
that,
kind
man.
of see the side effects
85%.
from it, but we don't know exactly how or what it
But
is,
see, I think science is only a way of explaining what we're able to perceive.
that's exactly right. Science is like how to explain what you're looking at. That's all it is. Like
And
you're
science
basically
is constantly learning and evolving. And in my opinion, like true scientists don't discount shit. Like unless they've done every possible scenario to discount certain things. But
There came
scientists are
point
always
seven
learning.
says, "What's red matter, bro?" I don't know what red matter is. It Austin's shirt? I don't know.
That's
Is that red?
that's
Is red
made
matter a thing? I
that's
don't know.
racist. It's racist. It's matter.
Somehow it is. I don't know. I'm sure.
It's native matter, not red matter. It's native matter.
Is that what it is?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
That's fine.
I'm just joking.
I love it.
No,
Science will never agree with any of us paranormal researchers. That might be true. That might be true. I kind of
at
feel like
least not in our lifetime.
I kind
At
of
least not
feel
in our
like
lifetime.
yeah. I don't see it. Okay. So here's the thing, right? Like this is kind of what I was going back, kind of what I was saying with the multiverse thing, right? Like the
Right.
um parallel worlds that split off at these decision points.
Right.
um like if what we don't know what we're talking to, so it would be hard to prove that ghosts exist just because we get intelligent responses, even though they might be like going along with whatever narrative's there. It's still not proof. It's not defined by a scientific method, or it's not gonna weigh out.
It's situational.
And there are scientists that
They're
are like
circumstantial.
it's circumstantial. It's all circumstantial. It's all it is. And it's basically up to you. And that's why I was saying that, and it's great that there's people out there that are doing this stuff. They're like getting this data and they're hardcore like documenting like all their data. And I like to see people like looking at the audio spectrum and everything and really looking at it, picking into things because I'm there for the experience, and partially has become my belief that you have to it takes a level of belief to kind of get communication the way you want, or the amount of communication that you want. You have to believe that the potential is there, that the possibility is there. You can't just go in. It's not like a sanitized environment where you can go in. It's not a controlled. You can't do it in a lab. You might be able to, right? But you're not going to be able to produce the same results. It's never going to be like a measurable thing. It's never going to be, and that's why I say also that it could be that when these spirits speak to us, or whatever it is that's speaking to us speaks to us, it could be that they're communicating via radio waves, but it could be on a like an oscillating frequency, kind of the same way we oscillate through the bandwidth, right? However they're projecting their voice could also be oscillating. We could be catching it. It could be just sweeping right past each other, and you're catching it. Problem is, you don't know the speed. You don't know if that's even the case, but it's pretty obvious that we can't just tune through. But sometimes people can tune
That's
through.
what they used to do before Frank.
Right, bocce, right? Bocce is like aside from Tesla, like I'm sure there are other people who did radio work, but I know for sure that bocce is an older example of somebody
Manual sweep, right?
he would tune through until he found a spot. And from my understanding
He was
of
doing DRV stuff though.
He did also do DRV, but
Yeah,
I think his main thing was, or was that no? I think that was the fish box. That was the fish box that did DRV stuff. Bocce used a radio. He had like an old antique radio.
find a
Like
dead station.
yeah, he would no, he would like sit there and manually tune through until he found
Yeah,
a voice.
that's yeah.
And then he would hang on to it, and then he would do it in front of people, and these people would be looking to speak to their loved ones or whoever, and it would be bam right there. And according to the people that went out and checked the radio, they said they pulled the tubes out, and it still did it. They were still he was still able to get the responses. So is that bocce? Is that Bocce's somehow ability combined with this radio? Is it something in that specific radio? Is it in that specific model and that, or something in that the component in that radio? There's so many other things, but like Bocce is the the oldest example I can think of somebody trying to use radio to um, communicate with ghosts.
Yeah, I know Bocce. I know Bocce has inspired a lot of work. Like he's inspired Ron Iacovetti and Lourdes Gonzalez to do their Staticom stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I mean, it's static, but yeah, and so, well, that also inspired me
mhm,
to make my first ghost box, which was the manual sweeping ghost box. That was the first one
mhm.
I ever made, and I'm pretty sure other people have tried it in the past because it seems so obvious to me to attach some type of servo to a radio to a knob and
Well,
just
that's not a
physically
manual. That's a
turn it.
mechanical.
It's
You're thinking
but
of
it is.
mechanical shit.
No, but it's still being manual. No, it's still a physical knob, a mechanical knob that's being manually turned. Not manually by you, but you're like you programmed
That's
it. And
manually is
it's
by you.
yeah, but it's I'm talking about the knob. So I'm not tapping into the circuit. I'm not causing the signal to
Right.
go up and down. I'm taking the knob. It's the equivalent to me using my hand, but without the personal interaction from myself through the radio. So I was interested in seeing if it would be similar to the way Bocce did it because that's
I
how
think
he did it
part
with
of
Bocce.
my thought on that would be that the connection that he's making physically with the box, I think, has a big part to play in that. I think when you add the servo to it, you're taking away that physical, like that
Definitely.
connection that you. So I think that's
Have that.
probably the difference.
If you have that, right? But not everybody has that ability or
I don't think
however
it's
you want to call it.
necessarily an ability. I think it's something that you just
Well,
have to
okay,
be
if
able
it
to
wasn't
work
an
with.
ability, then how in the hell is he the only one that
It's
ever?
not the only one.
Well, I mean, then nobody else has really talked about it since then. He was the first one, and nobody. It's not like they had that model radio come out and they sent them all back because everybody that tuned them. There was voices of dead people coming through them. So that would
Right.
be, that would be like happening to everybody, right? Like that would be
Right.
obvious.
And
Some
that's,
kind of
I think he must have had some, I mean, then he must have had some kind of connection, like a strong connection. I think that anybody can develop that connection if they work enough with one ghost box, especially. But I mean, obviously, other people, like people, can have the same connection to the other side, regardless of what ghost box they use.
right.
But Bocce, I mean, back in Bocce's time, I mean, we're talking what, like when the fuck was Bocce? That was like the 30s or the 40s,
I
wasn't
don't
it?
think it was that far back. I want to say it was like the 80s.
Was it that?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. See, I don't trust that as much then.
Well, you see, like
I'm sitting there thinking,
well,
like,
that's what I'm
that's the
saying.
time
Like,
when
and that's exactly how scientists look at what we're doing, and they say
I'd
like,
have to
well,
see, right, I'd have to look at it a little bit more.
I mean, the
But you
80s,
and I
man, that
are
was when
very
the best
similar in that.
electronics were out. The best electronics were out in the 80s. You had a lot of Japanese stuff.
Mhm.
Were at the height of their game as far as like being
That's the
innovative
technological boom,
and
man.
new and stuff. They were like booming.
Mhm. That's
Video
the tech
games,
boom, man. That's when the tech
digital,
boom started, was the
right,
80s.
right. And so I don't know. I think there was a lot of interesting electronics came out, and then shortly after that, so you have to think about like, okay, and that whole like late 70s, I'd say, to late 90s. Is that fair? Sure, we'll say that's fair, and say the DR60. Like,
Mhm.
what the hell's up with that? That's definitely got to do with the circuitry, I believe. It could have something to do with the amplifier, and I will say this about all the stuff I've done with the DR60. I've got a lot of really cool, like super specific stuff with the DR60. I've got like usually you hear a lot of growling and a lot of just like craziness coming through, like when you get. But I have actually got voices that come through that are intelligent voices, not just a. It's like
Mhm.
a McIntyre
Vocal
Villa.
tone.
Yeah, McIntyre Villa. I got a response, and I said, is there a spirit in this hallway that I think the story is he likes he's attracted to women pretty much. So that's what I asked about, and then I said, "What's your name?" And I got plain as day, Joe. There's nobody else in the hallway. Obviously, I don't have to preface with that, but I mean, there was people in the hallway, but nobody was talking. Let's put it that way.
Right.
And so I know for a fact, again, that it's not something I really have to prove. I'm not putting it out there as irrefutable evidence of anything. So,
Right.
but I know that there are voices that come through some of these interesting electronics, and they're all kind of like they're all kind of like in that kind of going from analog to digital phase, right?
Mhm.
And so that's like that whole time frame, the whole era where we were going analog to digital. This dude,
Why are
he's
you
pulling
pulling up
the
DR60?
DRC. Yeah, look how expensive they are.
I know.
They're
I have one.
$3,800, bro.
You know how much I got mine for?
38, probably like $5.
No, I got mine for 700
God,
back
that
in
sounds ridiculous.
2016 or 2017. I can't remember.
$3,800.
They're an
What
investment
am
at
I
this point.
thinking?
They are
I don't
not
know
a
if anybody's
purchase.
bought that. I don't know if anybody's bought one at $3,800. If
People
you
are buying
do,
them.
if you got money, whatever. But like, I'm
Yeah.
still trying to figure out. But here's my thing. Right now, there is you don't really hear too often. I don't know. I haven't interacted with people very often that use. What's up, Brandy? That use the DR60 to. Or they don't use the audio out.
Mm-mm.
They never use the audio out. You never see anybody use the phone out to
I do.
do you? Now,
Mhm.
okay, so a question for you then,
Okay.
because most people I know do not do that. They'll record
Mhm.
it straight off their phone because you got to have like the wonky two-prong. Uh,
No.
you don't
No,
have
with the DR60, you got to have a 2.5 millimeter, not a 3.5. You got to have the adapter.
right the adapter. I'm sorry, that's what I
Mhm.
meant. The
Yeah.
2.5 millimeter. So most people don't have that. They don't use that. They record it straight to their phone. And so here's my question: does it sound any different when you pull it? Have you compared like a recording that you've pulled from the audio out on the DR60 to like just listening to it? So record the audio
Yeah.
straight out
It's
of the
clearer.
speaker. Is it clearer, or is it like is it distortion? You know what I mean? Is so what is what we're I want to see an example of that. So if you've done it, I don't know why the hell you haven't posted it and like raved about it, because I want to see this shit. This is interesting shit.
Because,
Hibachi was
I
in the
mean,
50s and
I
60s.
have.
Hey, split that, bro. Split our times there. Mariah says that Bocce was in the 50s and 60s.
Mhm.
Maybe I was thinking about the fish box then when in the 80s.
Yeah, I
Because
knew it was. I
you
knew it
threw
was
me off
before
with
the
the
80s. I was
DVR
like, wait a
thing.
minute, that doesn't
You
seem
threw me
right.
off with the DVR because that was the fish box, I believe.
No, but so what the reason I haven't done I have posted videos on my page in the past doing experimentation with the DR60 and doing the output. But I did do an
What
experiment
was
for
that? Let's get it.
Deathwalker.
Brandon, pull that shit up.
Man, you'd have to go through all of my lives. That's a long
That's a
time.
good. That is a good point though. Like if because like that. Well, a lot of people probably wouldn't even think about it, but I thought that would be an interesting thing. Is that something that's pre? amplifier stage, which the DR60 recorded audio.
So the hard part
That's
about
that's what I want to do. That's what I want to do.
the hard part about that, and I mean, Audacity, I know can record a live input,
You don't have to.
but WavePad cannot. However, you don't have to use Audacity. I'm sure there's other programs that
You
can
don't
do
have
it,
to
but
push it live through though. You don't have to do that. It's not bad.
well, I know that shit.
Yeah,
So
we'll talk
when I did the experiment for the show, one of the things that we did, I actually ran the DR60 through a reverse box. Like it's actually the Halte, Katie Halte built it for me. The Forever Chester is what she calls it. And so I ran the DR6. Like what we did was Nick did a recording, like he did an EVP session, and then played it back through the reverse pedal out of a speaker. And I thought it was cool as shit, man. Like I want to do more experimentation with it, but it sounded very. It didn't sound like, I don't think that there was any less distortion than there is in the speaker. The sound quality doesn't improve if that's the
kind of what I
question.
was going with. Is it? Are we looking at? Are we looking at like?
Bro, trust me, because I've even taken apart a DR60 and I've added a second speaker onto a DR60.
I've taken
Like,
them
I've actually-
apart and I've fixed them, but I've never like got to just play with one and just do what I wanted to.
So Cynthia Thomas actually, Cynthia Thomas let me fucking add a second speaker to hers, to one of her DR60s, and that thing got loud, man, and I loved it. I'm considering adding one to mine.
Did you run it through like a LM386 or just ran?
No, I just basically ran two speakers off of the solder point. Yeah.
Okay, so you just basically put audio out from the
like where the current speaker's connected. I just ran another small speaker off of the back of that, so you got a speaker in the front and a speaker in the back.
Okay.
And the speaker in the back was actually had a little bit higher wattage than the speaker that's internal. The internal speaker is only half a watt, whereas the speaker I added was like 3 watt, I think. So like, so I mean, so it definitely got louder.
More there in the
But that's why I don't think it's the speaker that is causing. Like, I don't think it has anything to do with the speaker. I don't think it's the microphone either. I don't think a lot of people think it's the shielding on the microphone, but I don't think that. And I'm going to give credit to a guy, Joshua Sean, who I used to talk to a lot. But he has a theory on it that I've bought into 100%. It's really more or less like something to do with the codec and the time and the word clock and all that. There's something that's like it's like taking in random audio from the environment because of something was triggered by the word clock being off, or like the sample rate is set lower than it's actually picking up at, and so there's like that discrepancy is causing a glitch. But I think that the glitch is what's causing those quote unquote static bursts that come through the the screaming in it. But I think that they use I think they use that. I think they can use that to speak, almost like Minecraft.
They can exploit that like a glitch.
Well, yeah, that's why I don't consider the DR60 a recorder. It's an ITC device. It's not, or because the microphone is crap.
Now
it is. Yeah, now it's an ITC device.
It's an ITC device.
But if you want a recorder, you get a Zoom, you get a Tascam, you get one of the good ones. You get a recorder.
Out all the crap. Something
that's a recorder.
High quality.
The DR60. No, the DR60 is meant for ITC, and I think that it's only because it's just providing these bursts of white noise that I think that it's very low sample rate, or so like, I mean, you're talking about build like Legos versus Mega Blocks, right?
Oh yeah, like, I played with some recorders and like built my own and was able to change the sample rate, and you can get really crunchy.
The sample rate
really bit crushy.
Now get this, the sample rate of the DR60 is supposed to be set to 6.6 bits per second, I think, right? Is it kilobits or bits? I think it's bits. But it's actually Is it kilobytes? Yeah,
think.
kilobytes. Sorry. So at 6.6 kilobytes per second, but it's actually picking up at like 6.9 or 6.10 from what the Joshua had said in his research, at least. And like I said, I bought into this because I believe that he's right.
Well, yeah, he obviously knows what he's talking about, and he was able
Well,
to
he's an
do
audio
research.
engineer.
Yeah,
and
he's an
that's
audio engineer, and that's definitely, and he's
Mhm.
obviously he's not one of the annoying ones. I'm not
Mhm.
saying that all audio
Right.
engineers are annoying. I'm
Right.
just saying some of them are. I've met
Right.
some that are just like,
No,
no,
I have a
this is the
tremendous
way it
amount of
is.
respect for Joshua
Oh,
Sean, and
yeah,
I
I read his work. You turned me
Mhm.
on to that, and because I was
Yeah,
looking at that
he's brilliant. He
in
really
Butte.
is.
Actually, when I was in Butte, I built my own recorder,
Mhm.
and you're able to change the. I still have it somewhere. I haven't messed with it though. You're able to change
The
with a
sample
knob
rate.
your sample rate, so you can adjust your sample rate up and down. I have to dig that thing out and
You
mess with
should
it.
play around more with that.
Good. I really should. It's really cool. Um, but I think he's right. I think, and that's where I got the idea for that is because you turned me on to his work, and I was reading that, and I also went through the all the parts break or the
Parts manual, the service
it's the
manual, and all
manual.
that.
It's the owner's manual, basically, is what it is.
No, it's
Owner.
the service
Is
manual,
that
is
the
what you're
service
thinking.
manual that I was
The
looking
service
at?
manual has
Okay.
the timing charts and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. The timing charts. That's what I was looking at. So I was looking at all the timing charts and everything. I'm like, I think I can make an adjustable, like analog, sort of almost kind of analog, or it looks like analog, where I can turn it up and down.
Right.
Sarah Limos, what's up?
Sarah. I saw Brandy in there too. I waved her, but I don't think she waved back because I
She
can't see her.
definitely did not wave back. I did not see a wave.
Could have at least put a wave emoji or
Right,
something,
put a
right?
little wave emoji in there or something, Brandy.
Jeez.
Jeez, wow,
My
rude.
fucking She's like my fucking sister and she doesn't even give me a fucking wave.
Wow.
No, I think
Well, I
I
guess
think
you
that
were
if you were
ready.
to play around, I think the only thing that's going to be hard about actually making it the DR60 is that there are parts and there's things that the
It's like you were
DR60
saying,
has.
it's partially got to do with the codec, right? It's got to do with
Yeah,
your recording, like the sample rate that you're like recording at, and then
yeah,
also the rate that the codec is like operating at. There's a
hmm
lot of things there, and I think it's going to be really hard to replicate that. But
yeah,
if you could find like a part of that that is exploitable, or that spirits are able to exploit, or whatever we're talking to. Look, when I say ghosts, spirits, I'm basically mean something
something
that I can't
else,
see. Right.
right?
Like an unseen intelligence, something that exists outside of our perception that we can talk to via electronic.
Exactly.
Um, I just hate saying spirits like that. Like spirits, like when spirits talk to us, this is how they do it.
But I associate spirit with an ethereal entity. A ghost
Ethereal.
is a dead person.
Sure, maybe. A bad ghost of a bad person.
A
Like they
ghost
can't
is
be good
a
ghosts?
ghost, in my opinion, is somebody who was
I didn't
alive
know I
at
was
one
talking to
point.
Zach Baggins.
No, that's a demon. When you're
Oh,
Zach
yeah, no,
Bagans,
you're
it's a
right. I'm
demon.
sorry. I didn't mean to.
Demon.
Demon. They're all
Make
they're
sure you get it
definitely
right, man.
demon.
Sure you get it right. No, but like, I mean, I think like ghosts are the spirit of a human being, but there are other types of spirits too. Like there's negative, like I think that even like a demon in some way is a spirit. Granted, it's an evil spirit, but it's
It's a
still an
ghost,
ethereal
man. Everything's a
entity.
damn ghost. Everything is a damn ghost
See,
because
KD's gonna
it's kind of
be.
like the dark. It's kind of like the dark matter thing, right? Call it dark matter because we don't know what the hell it is. So when I call something a ghost, it's because I don't know what the hell it is. It could be a demon. It could be like the Bible says unclean spirits. There's a lot of that talk in there. So what does that mean? Is that like some sort
Wasn't
of
it like
I
Catholicism that looks at like all spirits are demons or something?
think that's kind of just
I think it's
Christianity sort of as a
Catholicism
whole.
or Jewish
Uh,
or maybe
I mean,
maybe a
because
Jehovah's Witness
I
or
was
something.
raised Baptist, bro, and that's kind of the way they
The
look at it too.
Baptists
Like
is
you're not
different.
supposed to mess with it. You don't mess with it. But here's the
Right.
thing, right? The reason why they think that is because okay, so if ghosts exist, then that would mean that you're not hey Brandon, that you're not going to the I think he's let's wrap it up because I'm getting tired. We'll kill it here.
No,
Is
you
that what
got
you're
30 minutes.
okay? Okay, cool.
Oh shit. Okay.
All right, so I think where was that? Oh yeah, okay. So if ghosts exist, then it kind of throws everything out of whack because that would mean that you don't go to heaven or you don't go to hell. That would mean that there's another possibility that you could exist here, that you could stay here when that's really not an option given to you by what said religion, whatever religion we're talking
Well, I
about.
know Catholicism does believe in like a
Purgatory.
purgatory. That's right. Yeah. But
But
I've also
even that is
even
kind of
in,
like even that's kind
okay,
of
so
like hell
in
though.
the
And then, but also you have paradise. There's also paradise, right? So that people believe in paradise, and that's kind
yeah.
of like a pre-heaven. So you've got like a place you
Well,
go, but
so
still you're not able to exist here and interact here and go on, and that's kind of the idea, right?
It was called Abraham's bosom in the Old Testament. That would be the in between.
well, and I do remember even, and I was about to say in
Abraham's
in
bosom.
the King James version of the Bible, and
Leave
I'll
it to
say King
Brandon for
James
Luke
version.
reference.
I'm gonna say in the King James version of the Bible, there is a passage in there. I know that it says, like, do not believe the spirits that roam the earth, for they are liars, or something along those lines. Like they will lie, they are deceitful, right?
They call them familiar spirits.
Right.
Okay, but they're not supposed to be there. That's it says don't listen to them, do not speak to them or something
Well, even
because
if
they
you go
are
back
not.
to like King Solomon, right? That was kind of his downfall, right? Was he?
He was a necromancer.
Well, he was
Maybe not in those
originally
terms, but
he controlled
Yeah.
demons, right? But then he didn't get, his down. I think his big downfall was like he got his head, he got bigger. Like he thought that he was the one doing it, but he was also talking to the witch Endora or something. I don't know, man. I'm getting all this mixed up probably, but but there's it's had something to do with
That would be
his.
when he went into the village to consult with the witch, who
Yes,
consulted with her familiar spirit, and
and
that's
that's
when Jesus supposedly changed it to something else. Yep.
right. That was kind of his downfall, right? Was s- talking to spirits and taking and
Mhm.
believing their what they said.
Right.
And so I don't know, man. But up to that point, like Solomon was gold. So all the demon control and all this stuff that he did, all that Solomonic magic and stuff, all that was cool. But don't talk to ghosts.
Yeah,
Like you can make a
apparently.
demon carry water in the freaking temple.
Well, aren't
I don't
demons fallen angels technically?
well, yes, technically, yes, they are. They are fallen angels.
Yep, that
Cast down
followed
at
Satan, cast down, and it followed Satan to hell
yeah,
or whatever.
but was
But
Satan
Earth
even at
is
first?
supposed to be
Was
Satan's
Satan?
domain, right?
Well, we don't even know that Satan was like the only demon to be cast, or the only angel to be cast out, or the
No,
first. He
he
could have not
wasn't.
even been the first, and like there's a lot of things I think that we take
But
for
I think
granted.
what made Satan so what made Satan
It's
so big was
interesting you
like he
think
wasn't he supposed to be like God's right hand man or something?
Correct.
Lucifer. That
Lucifer.
you're
He was
talking about Lucifer. Satan is actually kind of I use Satan a lot, but Satan is actually kind of a it's like a
It's a
blanket
name. It means
term for
deceiver.
the
So
enemy,
is
Satanu.
Lucifer. Lucifer,
Right.
the devil in the Bible, never has a name.
No, no,
Lucifer
it
and
just
all
talks
that.
about Lucifer.
That's
Now
right. They
Lucifer is
refer to him as a couple of different things, right?
Yep.
Lucifer. Well, you have
And
you have
that's because
Leviathan,
in
kind
the
of
Jewish
revert.
faith,
Yeah,
if they take a name away from something, they take away their power. That's why
and
they
that's
never
partially
named it
why.
in the Hebrew writings.
Yeah, that's also partially why when you have a demon's name, according
You
to
have power over it.
you have the power over the demon. And
What
so,
they say at
that's
least.
that's why I ask for names a lot while I'm doing work. So
But see, I believe
that
that
kind
all
of
spirits.
point you in the direction of whether you're talking to something demonic or not. Sort of. It's one thing. It could pile up. You don't know.
Well, see, part of my problem with that is that I mean, I'm sure that there are some honest spirits out there, right? But I'm the kind of guy that I believe that they know that we can't see them or whatever.
Are
They
we
could
going on
say
a
whatever.
trip?
I
Where are we
mean,
going?
granted, oh, I'm going out to the porch
We're
'cause
going
I
out to the
gotta,
porch, y'all.
yeah, I gotta smoke.
This is
But
awesome.
this is awesome. But
Allah
so
has
think
jinns.
about
That's right. Yeah, the Islam they have jinns and jinns is so it's kind of
yeah,
a universal concept in religions across religions is these angelic, ethereal, celestial beings.
yeah. Fuck, what was I? Where was I going with that?
Malachi Martin. Oh yeah, dude, isn't he on?
You were going to the porch to smoke. That's where
Yeah.
you were going.
Oh yeah, where was I going before that? What was I
I
talking
don't
about?
know. I just
Brandon.
derailed you.
Yeah, you did. Fucking A. It's because,
Now you know how I feel.
well, it's not my fault.
Doesn't have to
Brandon,
be your
remind me
fault.
what I was talking about.
Man, he got me so twisted. I'm trying to think.
He fucked me up, man. He really did. He like threw me because that's what KD does. He like takes you on a fucking. He's like the guy that's on the train tracks with the lever,
Yeah,
and instead of going straight, he takes you off the side rail last second.
right.
You're going like fucking
Hey, dude.
30, 40 miles an hour.
Am I looking at your blinds right now rolled up?
Austin,
No,
I
you're
got
looking at my
nothing, by the
ceiling.
way. I got nothing, by the way, to help you out, man. My train fucking, it's in the water off the
Okay,
bridge.
well,
Derailed
maybe somebody
everybody,
in the
man.
comments can say something.
No, well,
Well,
okay. So Becky asked a question. She said, "I don't
What's
know
that?
what's going on now." Becky, what'd you
What's the
say?
question?
KD Stafford and Austin Maynard.
Okay, so what it needs is an enclosure where you can keep the sound shielded and solid.
AK-47. He says he forgot.
So Becky, I would say that it sound travels in waves. It's not particles, so it doesn't like scatter everywhere. But I do think, I mean, at least for like acoustic purposes and like for guys like KD and I, like when we do ghost boxes, specifically KD, because he likes these big fucking monster boxes that reverberate really well inside. And so, oh, he's gonna fucking pull one out right now. Look at this. So like when he has these,
like these big monster boxes, so huge. Wow!
I should go bust out the ITCS.
It's bigger
man.
now. Look at how big it is.
I should go bust out the ITCS.
Oh well, yeah, that's a monster box. That is an experimental box. Sure, Becky. Kind of what you're talking about is, I'm probably gonna, I'm gonna South Carolina the hell out of this. Stacky acoustic. Qualities that sounds have, right? So sounds are able. It's like stacky acoustic qualities that a space would have, where the sound is like it sounds differently depending on where you're at, right? And how the sound is able to propagate.
Sound travels. Because sound travels in waves, and so it'll bounce. And that's why, like in an auditorium hall or something, your sound will reverberate differently than when you're in your bedroom. Like it's just because the way that sound travels, it can bounce off of things, and that's why it's really cool. Like like a spring reverb tank is meant for the sound waves to bounce around the spring and bounce around on the inside of the tank.
Hold on a second. I just gotta stop Mariah real quick here. Mariah, do you have a Legba box? Because I thought you had a Legba box. If you have a Legba box, that's a silly question, ma'am. Because this Papa Legba we're talking about New Orleans. This is Papa Legba.
Yeah, I would have to agree. Of course, KD, you only made like 2 of those fuckers.
No, I made a bunch of those, man.
Did you? Because I never got one, asshole.
Well, that's not my fault.
Either. I didn't get one either. And I
you
ordered.
shut
I know
up,
Joel
Brandon.
Winter has one.
7 years ago.
I know Joel Winter has one.
Oh,
And by
Mariah,
the
you
way,
have one? Okay. Well, if you had one, I'd say take the Legba box.
you know what's crazy is that KD knows how to build Legbas, and he's just not doing it.
Well,
And he's
you know,
sitting here talking shit to people that don't have one.
well, they're okay. So no, here's
Acting
the
like,
thing. I build them upon request because they are a pain in my eye.
I request one.
Yeah, you gotta
As
fill
do
out some
I.
paperwork. There's some
The
paperwork.
gnome
I'm
request.
gonna get you
Fuck
some
the paperwork. Tell Katie to fill out my paperwork. I'm just kidding. I'll fill it out.
I'll make some. You know what? I'll make a round of them, and then
I know because isn't the Legba the one with the double sweep circuit?
Mariah says I'll put in order now. Order put in. Order placed.
There you go. You got at least 3 now that you have to build. But isn't the Legba the one that has the dual sweep circuits?
No, yeah, I have made Legbas with like dueling circuits, right? There where they go.
Like you have one connected to the other or something. Like you're controlling one with the other or something.
The original Legba box was I was using a digital radio, right? But I was controlling it via an analog circuit. So it's like new and old together. And then obviously you had the noise suppression, and then you could drown it in reverb or whatever if you wanted to also, or not reverb.
Oh yeah, you had the double reverb. I remember that shit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's a cool sound.
Dude, that's crazy. It can get crazy. It can get very crazy.
Shit, when you could add 6 pots onto 2 reverb boards.
This right here, ladies and gentlemen, is the new Microcom.
Oh shit!
It's got a fancy, super easy 9-volt.
No more screwdrivers.
No more screwdrivers. You don't need it.
Fucking screws.
Toolless ghost box. You do not. It does not requires no tools. I need the Sham Wow guy here to explain this better.
You're gonna love my nuts.
Wow. Yes. Sham Wow guy. Yes, there we go.
It is. He does the slap chop too.
I know. That's why I know.
You're gonna love my nuts. I love that shit.
It's hilarious. But
oh my god, that's funny.
So Becky, it's a little bit of yes and a little bit of no as far as your question went. Scattered sounds can make a difference, but not always. It also ultimately depends on the operator.
I think when you scatter sound, you lose depth. When you contain sound, you gain depth.
I've become a fan of walking. I call them walking around boxes, like where you can hold and move around.
Yeah,
because it's like it's a personal connection. It's kind of like the bocce thing, right? It's like a personal connection that you have with the box. And that's another thing I meant to add to that. Oh, Jesus Christ!
We're gonna do a giveaway. Put in the comments hashtag what's in the box. Hashtag what's in the box. The winner will get a 20% off coupon code.
Oh wow, look at that. There we go.
A purchase from Supernatural Inc. store.
Wow.
Hashtag what's in the box. I'll give you a 20% off coupon for the store for Christmas. Type away.
Christmas.
And you're gonna love my nuts.
JK. The nuts.
Got him.
Got him.
Nuts.
They jumped on that, bro.
They jumped on that?
Tim jumped on the what's in the box just immediately. Oh, here we go. Cindy.
Yep.
Becky. Linda. Here they go. So I like that idea, Brandon. Good job.
Good job, Brendan.
Y'all realize this, right? This is a way for him to annoy me with this. This is just like a way for him to get all y'all to say what's hashtag what's in the box in the chat. Ooh.
Well, I'll be honest. I'm about to show you what's in the box.
Show me what's in the box.
I gotta unscrew it first. Hang on.
What's in the box?
Bet a speaker's in there.
That is one thing that might be in the box.
Mariah, that's what's up. What's in the box?
See, I got another one of these in black too.
That's the similar. That's very similar, I think, to the it's got that same
To the it would have been similar to the mini ink box.
right.
The one of the first couple of them, because you made like 3 or 4 different models of mini ink box.
Because I got was able to reproduce that teeny tiny circuit.
You got to go back to the original OG mini ink box, bro.
I am. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make some more of those. I was able to order some more of my little tiny custom
Fuck yeah,
fire boxes or circuit boards.
that's awesome, dude.
Yeah, so I'm gonna make some more of those. I like those, man. And the thing I like about the MIBs is they hang on things, right? Like you could be sweeping fast, like super fast.
Mhm.
And when it gets ready to hang, and it's not just like a certain place, it's like a response level, and it's out on that, and you'll get a whole word.
Dude, FM, I almost max out the sweep speed, and because of that,
Right.
like it'll still have a couple of words like come through strong, loud, and clear, but everything else is just kind of like almost like you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Like it's just real quick. You can't hear shit, but then there's the 1 or 2 words that come out real loud and clear. I love that.
It's not like the same. It's not like the same station every time. It's not like a slow spot or anything.
Right.
It's like a different deal.
Right. Exactly.
Spirits do love the nanocom, Mariah. Cindy, you want what you want to? Are you talking about the MIB?
Yeah. Y'all don't know about the original OG MIB.
That's been a while back, hasn't it?
That's that shit right there. I didn't like. I had a couple of the different models too, but none of them, man. That original model was by far the best. I used to sell those for you, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Tim says, what's the difference between his OG ink box and the one that has the green light in the back, spec wise? You know what? I think that was originally with the when you see the green light on the back. That's when I had where you could switch the sweep on and off. I do.
Yeah. Well, because you did stop. You did stop adding the switch.
I did. Originally, I had the switch on there, so if you wanted to, you could switch the sweep off, and then you could
just use it as a radio.
Right, you could just use it as a radio, and then I realized nobody fucking listens to radio anymore. So,
and if they did, they're not going to pull out their ghost box to do so.
They're not going to use the ink box to do it with. I'm the only freaking weirdo that listens to the radio on their ink box. Okay, Cindy. Yeah, well, so be on the lookout because I'm going to make some more of those mini ink boxes, and I'll be sure to post.
I know I have one. Well, my teammate Dusty has one that the tuner just completely shit the bed on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, I thought because I figure, well, it's probably just a wire disconnected. I'll open it up real quick and resolder it or whatever.
I haven't heard that about.
No, there aren't many. I mean, it's the first one that I've heard of.
I didn't.
First one I've heard of that's actually shit the bed like that. But I mean, I know you ordered. There were a couple of different brands of those that you played with, weren't there?
Yeah. Did he get the little handheld two-way looking one? One of like a kind of like a two-way radio. It's like a vertical shape.
The original MIB.
Longer one. So it's the original one that messed up on it. Okay.
The original MIB, but that's what I'm saying. That's
probably only made 10 of those, if that, if 10.
I sold a bunch of those. At least
was
10.
It the same one? Was it the same?
The one that had 7 shortwave bands.
Okay. All right.
And the flashlight.
Okay.
Yeah, you know which one I'm talking about.
Okay, yeah, I know. I just haven't heard of anybody having one, quote unquote, shit the bed on them. It's the first
I know, but I know that there were a couple of different manufacturers of those, and I mean, at this point, they're it was bound to happen one of the days.
It's the same manufacturer. They're just sticking a different name on the radio, and that's the way
Yes, that is
stuff.
true. That is
Uh,
true. I didn't. Yeah, that's true. That's like my mind.
It depends on who says, "Hey, we'll pay you to make this radio." And so at the end of the day, it's they're the
Generic
same
kind of.
radio,
Yeah.
right. And that's just the good one that works. Uh, I've
Well,
gone
one
through my
out of
radio,
however many that you did
dude. I've
sitting
made
in
so
the bed.
many. Look,
I know.
this is a new one that I made. This is another one because there's so many out there, dude. There's so many that are freaking sweepable, and it's like I
Oh,
didn't even
that.
know this. It's like I feel like I
Mhm.
introduced the world to this new thing, but it's the same thing, but it's a new thing. It's like a new voltage tune type of radio because I mean I don't know.
They definitely made it easier.
Right. So
You
this
don't have
is
to find the pin
another one.
anymore. It's all right
Have you
there.
seen this
Oh
one?
yeah, I've seen those. Yeah.
The cool thing about this one is it's got a microphone input.
Ooh.
Yes. So
Well,
you
that's
can.
interesting.
It does. So you can actually connect a microphone and
Well, now that I think about it, your original, the OG ink box has a microphone on it. I'm surprised you haven't tried to tap into that somehow and
no,
make
and
it.
I have played with it. I put like I have attached a oh god, I'm having a brain fart. A crystal diode, you know?
Well, why don't you like run it in through the ghost box?
Well, yeah. Well, okay. So what you do is what you mean you talking about like have two channels like mix them because you
Mhm.
would have to add a mixer.
Yep.
What's in the box? We got 4 entries. Are we gonna do a draw? Are you gonna draw it?
Yep.
4 entries.
Do the draw because we got 4 entries for this.
You
Do
know
it,
what? I'll give you
Brandon.
30
Are we
seconds.
done? Are we gonna wait? We got what?
You got 30 seconds to put in hashtag
Hashtag what's in the box,
all
y'all. If
lowercase.
y'all want 20% off, you get a 20% off from the Supernatural Inc. This is Brandon's idea because he wants to torment me with what's in the box.
What's in the box?
That's what I do. Okay,
So we'll give that a second. But anyway, yeah. So I like the well. See, with this, I don't have to do that because it's got one right there, and also, yeah,
Oh, that's
this has
cool.
got.
That's a cool one.
I like it. Now this one only has FM and AM,
That's okay.
but so no shortwave. But it's very
It's
interesting
all right.
kind of sounding. Yeah, it's very kind of interesting sound on the
Yeah,
on the FM.
that's the biggest thing for me is like, how does it sound?
Even the AM sounds pretty good. I don't,
Oh
I
yeah.
don't know if y'all can actually even hear this. Can you hear that? Oh,
Yeah.
Linda Scott's a winner.
Woo!
Linda Scott. Look, this one's got a blue light on it. See, this is the same thing I was talking about, Tim. I put the light, so now it's
For
not
the sweep.
sweeping.
Mhm.
And I just put I don't know why I put that on this one. I think it's because I already had like a light on the circuit because I was going to use it for something else anyway. And that's FM.
It said, "How's it going?" That's just what it said. Just now.
It's like
How's
two
it
voices.
going? It's going good.
Host.
House. Sounds like a Canadian house. House?
I know that.
I know that. Are you Canadian?
Bunch.
Bunch of Canadians? Is that what it said?
It almost did sound like a bunch of Canadians.
We're making
How many Canadians?
Weak.
the
The interface. You hear that? It's the interface, man.
There's a bunch of us, it just said. It just said it. There's a bunch of us. Something.
Take it right at that stall point. That's fast. That's super fast.
I like it.
It matters.
It matters.
It matters. It fucking matters.
It matters, bro.
It matters. Even they say it.
So I don't know what this is. This is a box. It's a ghost box. You know what? I'm gonna call it the GB11. No, the GB13.
The GB7.
No, that's too much. That's too on the nose.
It's too
GB13.
close.
This is it. What's up, Kira? Tracy.
I think you should call
Moderating, but I'm here. Thank you, Tracy.
You should call it the ink box.
GB. It's the GB13.
All right, GB13.
GB. So there
Sounds
we
like
go.
a weed strain.
A what?
Sounds like a weed strain.
I like it.
That's some of that
GB13.
kush.
GB,
I like it.
right, like GB, OG, GB cookies.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's right.
Hey, we're at the
IB13.
2-hour mark. I don't care what you say. Bye, everybody. Bye.